When it stops spinning, we're good, are we?
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
We'll be good now. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Live again. Oh,
Yeah,
it's live. Hello, Dan Hendrickson. So we're testing today, just for people's compares. It's raining outside, so we can't get on the course. But I've got the P730, and in Dan's hand here, I'm going to hit it against the P790. And we're going to talk about if you could blend these or not, and the difference in launches and those things. I've already hit a few shots with this one, so I'm going to hit a couple more, and then I'm going to switch to the P790. I've got my speed socks on, if anyone was wondering. Got your speed socks on there?
I've got my little speed socks on today, yeah.
Oh, speed my phone. How far did that last one go?
That carried 151.
Cool. Oh, that was a healy strike. Oh, look at that, hit the line. Get up. Get up, Dan.
Same again, 151.
Yeah, bit of a miss hit that, slightly healy.
What's up, Dan and Mark?
Hello, gentlemen and ladies, if you're in the house. Oh, I've hit that one too quickly, the machine's not set. So I'm going to hit one more with this.
Hi from Washington, D.C.
Hey, hello. Thanks for joining. Hello from Wet Torquay.
Yeah, it is wet.
So that's probably going to be 152. No, 151 again.
Yeah.
Was it?
148.
Was it 148? Was it?
Yeah.
Right, so if you add the other club, so we go there, add club, and change that number and colour, we're now going to hit the P790, which obviously has the speed foam is the big thing with this. It's forged, it's got this kind of node at the bottom, it's got the slot at the bottom, it's doing a lot more. You know, arguably one of my favourite blades out at the moment in the P730, beautiful looking blade from Taylormade. Anyone who hasn't seen the review, full reviews on my channel now.
Hello from Ontario.
Ontario! Is that Canada? Have I just
it
said
is.
something silly?
Canada, correct.
So these are both 7-irons.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe same length to 1/4 inch longer in the P790.
Yeah.
What's the website say? Is there meant to be different lengths? Have you got it there?
Hang on.
Because we're going to talk about the lofts in a second.
So...
What's the difference in the lofts?
7-iron is... different in loft is...
Sorry, no, we'll talk about lofts in a minute. The length,
Okay, length is 36.75 in the 730.
So 730, 36.75.
Yeah.
That's the bladed one.
And then I'll go back.
And in the P790.
And the P790 length 7-iron, same.
So this is what I always. This isn't a dig, but it's just the fact these clubs are not the same length, are they?
No, that definitely the right hand one, whichever that one is slightly longer, and the grip and the grips go down the same amount, so they're not stretched or pulled up or anything.
So it's like this is one criticism of Taylormade, which you can hate all you like. This is a fact. It just worries me sometimes how their clubs come out. Like these are meant on the website the same length, and they are not the same length.
Yeah.
Like your attention to detail for me has to be.
Are we using the same shafts?
A little better.
Question.
Well, does that matter in the length?
No. I think it's just a question as to...
No, so it's the Dynamic Gold 105 S300 on this one, and it is the true Temper Dynamic Gold S300 in this. So, same shaft with the decal.
Yeah.
It's basically the same shaft, it's just got a modern decal, I'm arguing there. But this is the 105, so I don't know how that differs to this one. But as someone who has proven on a number of occasions how little shaft flex affects certainly my performance, that's not a valid question anymore, apart from just out of interest.
Yeah.
But this is definitely not the same length as that other club. Like a Tour Pro would not be happy with that.
Yeah. So what you got now?
This is now the P790. You flipped it over on
yeah.
an iPad, so we're going to hit a few shots with this, show you the differences. Because I think everyone's very aware how big a fan I am of that 730 blade. Post comments down below. Have you ever thought about Taylormade blade or not? I mean, I was impressed. Is it a company that springs to mind when it comes to bladed clubs or not?
Mark, are you going to Australia anytime soon?
I blooming hope so. It's pouring down here.
Yeah. Let's go to Torquay, Australia.
Oh, that might hit the line. Hit the line.
Okay, so
How
last
far
couple
are
of
they
shots. First shot you hit was 161.
So noticeably longer.
Yeah, that last one was 153. So you've just, is that a slight miss hit or
Toey.
yeah? So
Surprised
spin jumped up a little bit.
I'm surprised it was that short. I thought it would, because it's toey. Sometimes they go further. So that should go the distance.
Again, we apologise for any spiking that you're hearing on the
There
sound.
will be a spike as we hit the old or into the old screen. And if you don't like the spiking, just click off and go and watch something else. Plenty of good videos without spiking. This is just live. You're going to get what you're given. Sound like my mum. If you don't like the burnt potatoes, you can just eat them.
Yeah.
Or just leave them. That's what you got. That's all I'm making. Oh, I love the burnt potatoes. What was that last one go?
Last one was 164.
Yeah, that felt full distance.
Yes.
So that felt good. If you show the comparison on the screen, should we have a? Let's have a look actually, because I want to have a look as well. So more shots hit with the P730, averaging 145 in distance. P790 averaging 160. I don't know if you're getting that down.
Zoomed right in, but I'm not sure. I think you might have to come in a bit closer.
I'll come a bit closer if you move your zoom around.
Okay.
So we're looking at 145 for the P730 bladed, 160 for the P790.
Yeah.
Launching at 20 degrees with the blade.
Yeah.
Launching at 18.5 with the 790, the kind of blade hybridy thing, whatever you want to call it. Ball speed jumping up, averaging 115 to 107 with the blade. If we go into club data, we're not dotted up, are we? So we can go into club data. Spin 6-1 with the P790.
Yeah.
6-6 with the bladed one. So basically it's a club difference, isn't it?
It is.
In fact, slightly more than a club difference in some way. But I would be looking for my 151s plus average of that blade, warmer hitting better. So it's around 10 to 11 yards difference in carry, which for me is kind of a club difference. So what is making the P790 go further? It must be the speed foam because of the word speed.
Speed foam with the speed socks.
Yeah, is that it? What's doing it?
It's got to be loft, I'm afraid.
It's loft, is it?
It's loft. So the P30.
Hit me with the loft, Stan.
So your P30 is a 35.
So this is 35 degree lofted 7-iron.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the P90 is 31.5.
Okay, so it's a 6-iron, a 7-iron in theory.
Yeah. So the 6-iron in the P30 is 31.
Alright, so the 7-iron in the P790 is stronger than the 6-iron in the 730.
No, it's the 7-iron is half a degree weaker, isn't it? Than the P36.
What's the 6-iron in the blade?
It's 31 loft.
And what's the 7-iron in the 90?
31.5.
31.5 opposed to this is what? Sorry,
31.
31.
Yeah.
So this
half.
is so they're 0.5 away from being the same loft 6-iron to 7-iron.
6-iron, 7-iron, yeah.
So yeah, I mean this, and I'm not putting this club down because the P790 looks good. It's got that slightly chunkier top line, which and a bit more blade, which obviously on top, it's a bit thicker on top, which the blade is going to scare people.
Yeah.
But this isn't a blade cavity back blade speed foam question. This is a very different lofted, simple idea in my book. Am I wrong? I mean, am I getting that wrong?
No, I think you're bang on. Absolutely bang on.
I mean, this is a 6-iron opposed to with the length of a 7-iron, and obviously one length clubs have proved that some golfers' length doesn't make that difference.
Question here from Luke. What if he jacked up the 790? So if you pop the 790 loft up to the same? You
could move it probably by... Trouble is if you move loft, is you start changing offset.
Yeah. Because
they have to basically bend it. So I reckon if they do move the loft, I don't know if Taylormade do, I'm sure they do, they offer extensive fitting, you'd probably only be allowed to bend this by 2 degrees.
Yeah.
Because if you bend it by more, you start adding loads of offset and then it becomes ugly because you've got to move it back to bend it forwards kind of stuff. So yes, you would close the gap. Then the next question, which is always the big one with these, obviously, the P790 has the help at the bottom, thicker sole, more chunk at the bottom.
Yeah.
So in effect, that's helping push the ball up. What are the launches of the two clubs actually? Bearing in mind the lofts are very different.
On here or?
Yeah, so you'll see them here, look. Now, so if you come out of here, and we'll just pop you, you can go in here. So your launch is here, you've got your launch angle here.
So you're averaging, with the P790, you're averaging at 18.5.
Yeah.
And your average with the P730 is 20.6.
So yeah, I reckon you could take 2 degrees off this and get those launching very similar. The next question would be, without that help at the bottom, would it push up high enough for you then to stop the other end as well? So you would have that compromise you'd have to do. Yeah. The biggest problem I find with the slightly lower spinning 7-iron, because this was only spinning at 6,000 revs, wasn't it, the 790, which is fine but slightly low, but fine. It's not, when you're hitting full shots, it's when you're hitting full shots, like there's a shot you're going to see in Spain where it just upsets me for the whole day. I'm that kind of, if you pass it over I'll say you. I'm that kind of pathetic minded person. Hit a good drive, hit a wedge which I thought was close, it was a little long, but the ball was dewy and the ground was dewy and it skidded, went over the back, left me a harder shot for me. Yeah. So I'm just punished because of the dew. Obviously if you hit a low spinning shot, from a morning round day, and it's dewy, I can't afford to lose any more spin off this one, which is why I prefer the more consistent, higher spinning.
So for me, I'm a higher spinner than you.
Yeah. So it makes less a difference.
So it makes less of a difference for me. Yeah.
You can get away with using the lower spin, where for me, where I'm a generally low spinner. Now here's an interesting question as well, which I get. That's an awful strike, big stroke. When I talk about this, lots of people say, yeah, but amateur golfers always spin it too much. 100% not true.
No.
Most with the driver, yes, they spin it lots because they've got speed because it's a longer club. When it comes to irons, I could show you data from all my lessons and you'll find the majority of them are spinning it low, not enough, because of their delivery angles not being that great. Not massively high. So giving someone who already spins it low, a low spinning club, then you put them in semi-rough or you put them in on a dewy ground, on a good lie, the water's going to affect the friction and then spin's changing and then is that ball stopping or not just stopping, because what's the other big thing that spin will affect? Forget stopping. What's the big thing? If you think about drivers, it's the same with iron. If a low spinning drive to a high spinning drive, what's the big number that's going to change?
Distance, yeah, absolutely, distance.
So what happens if you've got a club that can be so variable on spin, and then you go and put the variables of the real world out there? Wow, ouch. Yeah. Hit the ball the right distance, good luck to you. And that's the big thing that I think comes through from my on-course testing with the blade to the 790, is I feel like with the blade I can have a little bit more distance control, just a fraction. Any good questions that aren't about my lunch or about...
Yeah, as I said, more about your lunch here. I think one chap, just looking through here, one chap said that he tested them, but he preferred the G400 from Ping.
Yeah. Interesting point. Do you want to hit one down?
Yeah, let's have a quick look.
Very obvious for me which one. So tell me which one you prefer.
I think ultimately I prefer the look of the blade.
Prefer the look of it. It's a very good looking blade, isn't it?
That's the first time I've seen it, and that's just, that's stunning, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Very nice.
Compared to the other one?
Compared to the other one, again, to be fair, it doesn't bother me. That top line is quite, it's not too intrusive, is it?
No.
Yeah, I think, I could play either of them, really.
Tony Atkins asks, does shaft length make a difference with the spin? Now, it does make a difference with the spin if it affects your speed, because speed is very much a reflector of spin. It's one of the ingredients. So if the shaft length does affect your speed, then it in turn can affect your...
So you were spinning this at like 6.4, weren't you?
Yeah, you just spun that. So I'm spinning that one at 6... Oh, that's the bladed one. I was spinning that at 6.5. You've just spun that at 7,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hit the thumbs up, people. Yes, Joel, correct. Hit the thumbs up button if you're liking the lives.
I mean, for me, it feels lovely. Again, I could play these all day long, coming up into probably about a 6 iron, and then I would question why I'm hitting this 4 iron and 5 iron.
Yeah, well, think about my set. I stop at a 5 iron, don't I? And then I go for the ultimate game improvement iron in a rinky dink. So I actually go from the most gaming club then to the most help. I don't muck around with the 4s and the 5s.
This one feels slightly lighter.
Okay.
This is the P790 now.
I'm interested in what you're spinning this one at.
6-1.
617 iron.
Yeah.
See, that's low for you, isn't it?
That's low for me, yeah.
So that's where knuckleballs come in. That's going 167. Your last 7 iron went 149 with the other club.
Yeah. I'm not managing that.
Yeah.
$175. Let's spell it
5-9. This is from comparing apples to apples. When you look at numbers on the 7 iron blade to an 8 iron and 790, do the numbers match and make sense? Again, Jason, you're not listening to the main point. Everyone's getting confused with that. The main point here is that you could get them matching, but what happens, you'll run out at one end or the other.
Yeah.
So when you've got a 9 iron, you've got nowhere else to go. You've got your specialised wedges after that,
Yeah.
and you're now at the semi-rough and it's low spinning, and there's no other. You can't go to the next one down.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if you want a 7 iron going 165, you just hit 175. Without on a controlled indoor environment, you put a bit of water on that ball. You've got to try and work that in. I won't work that in with my blades hardly ever,
No.
but with those you will have to more. I think that's the point. They don't ever really want to listen to that point. Robert, here's an interesting one. Robert Edwards, why do people bother about top line fitness? I'm high single fingers handicap, so no problem. But it has never, I think he said it never really bothered me.
Some people don't, does it?
No.
Some people it doesn't, some people it does.
It's a Brian criteria for some people, me included. I want to look at a certain club. I want to look at it. It's a personal preference, which is, I think, why he doesn't understand it, because it's not his personal preference.
No.
But that doesn't mean it's not true. It's there. Brian Baker, love your reviews. Thanks, Brian. Here's a good one. How many balls would you reckon to hit when testing irons and drivers? I think that's really interesting, because I can test the driver within 3 hits if I hit the ball how I know I can hit it. That's what I want to know what that does. Because I'm not testing for missed strikes, because that's a myth. Anyone who says you're testing for missed strikes, you're not. Because the variables on missed strikes, I can get missed strikes to go longer than a good, so-called good feeling strike. So I can do it with it's literally, if I'm doing a gap testing and I hit 3 irons, what I feel is solid, that's enough. I don't need to do it more. They're the number it's going to go. When I've done gap testing with people who are finding all the face, it takes 7 shots, 8 shots to find 3 that are like their longest to like how short they can go. So it's kind of what you want out of it, really. But you don't need. It's subject to your hitting. If you find a middle or one that feels good, and the launch monitor like RC's the middle, take that number as given. Simon, AP2 said traditional lofts are more forgiving. Same from Mizuno. A blended set could end up with 2 7-irons. Duncan Elliott. You can't blend these sets. They're not blendable, are they?
Not with the lofts that are around, no.
I guess you could have a long iron.
Because you'll just make a massive jump.
Yeah.
So you'll have 2. You could have 2 6
well,
irons.
You could make a massive jump into a 3 iron which plays as a 2 iron. Couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Like Lockie does that a bit with his Callaways. He's got a long 3 iron.
Yeah.
Top fit line fitness drives me crazy. So someone else who does see the top line, it's what you see or what
it's what you're looking at. Some people tend to look at the bottom line here, but some people look at the top line. It's where your eyes are kind of drawn to. I think individually.
Will the more obvious feeling of off-centered, I think that's meant to say strikes, with a blade help improve strike over time versus game improvement irons? I think this is one of those myths as well. You will feel an off-center strike with any club.
Yeah.
They're not like cushions when they're game improvement. Do you know what I mean? That's not how it works.
No.
When you don't hit that centre of gravity, you are going to feel it. I think that's one of those myths that has been peddled around for a long time. Would you ever fit a club to fit a player's future swing change, as an example, if he's taking lessons from you? McElroy. Yes. I mean, a fitting for me is a lesson. It's the same thing. It's no difference. If you're having a fitting and it's not a lesson, get a fitting somewhere else. It has to be the same thing. Yeah. When a student comes to me, I am looking at their equipment first, swing second, because the equipment is the easiest fix and change for me. If I can give them something that makes them play better straight away, why on earth, as a coach, would I not do that?
I'm the same. They take the pitch into them, but that is the way to go.
Yeah, it's the same thing. The fitting is a lesson. Yeah. If you're not getting your fittings that way, if they're just selling you clubs, get a fitting from someone who teaches. That's not what I'm about.
You should be getting your fitting from the pro that you use.
Yeah.
Because he's going to know your game inside out.
Absolutely.
Should know your game inside out.
Yeah, yeah. Christopher says, ever hit a JR for straight into the launch monitor? You can't shank it there. It's a good question. You can tow them there, but normally they've got no energy by the time they just pop into it.
I've done quite a few lessons in here and touch wood.
Yeah. I've never
nobody's conked it.
Yeah, I've had a toe slightly towards it. So for me, out of those two clubs, I think I'm going to go with Blade as my favourite. But I do understand why that other one is there. Don't in any way think I'm saying it's a bad club. I think it's a good club. I am just putting it out there why one might go further than another. I'm just trying to be honest and transparent, because they're certainly not marketed that way. The lofts are at the bottom and hidden. You have to kind of click through to them. It's not speed foam in my opinion, even though that might help with sound and those kind of things, which is great. You've got very distinct different lofts on those two clubs, which is why you're going to see different kind of numbers. There we go. Thanks for watching. As always, hit the thumbs up button if you're loving the lives. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you, Dan, for your time.
Thank you very much.
And there's going to be loads more lives coming. I am home. I've got less travels now up to Christmas, so we are going to be doing this a lot, Dan. You're going to be bored of my voice. You'll hear it when you go to sleep. Thanks for watching, everyone.